This video is very straightforward. I'm going to give you my thoughts on option out the 718 Spyder and take a deeper look on what I selected. Every week I got quite a lot of email and PM on my Instagram account where people are asking me for advice how to spec their car. And one thing is very important, and I'm going to tell you what is the essence. But this is going to take a while, doesn't it? Wait. Yeah, I'm lousy today. I just wanted to sit down and talk to you for a bit because there is no right and wrong specification to start with, but for me it is extremely important that the specification is held together towards a goal. So therefore the first thing that you need to do is to set a goal on how to use your vehicle. If you don't know that, then I question how you could select a vehicle in the first place. Let me give you an example on what I mean. I got a superb comment on my last video from Surgeon Orgas Galan. Sorry if the pronunciation is wrong, but he clearly set a goal. He says, currently I'm waiting for my new 718 GT4 to arrive and I have configured it without buckets. But everything makes sense to me. Besides visiting the racetrack 3 to 4 times a year, I do tours in Spain, Europe of several days. So when you exceed 500 kilometers daily with the buckets, you start to miss being able to recline the seat and some more comfort. That's the perk why buying a Porsche, because you could create your own religion. This is my thoughts and this is my religion. It doesn't necessarily need to be in line with your thoughts. And that's the beauty that you, with the possibility that Porsche offers, design your own vehicle. He has set a clear goal how to use the car, and for him it was right option a GT4. If I was set the same goal where I will do a lot of tours in Europe, I would most likely go for a 911 GTS or a 911 Turbo, looking at the 991 availabilities. Looking at the 992, I most likely would actually have done a base 992, putting on these Öhlin dampers that actually improve the comfort level. I will improve the track day, and then off I go. Looking at the mid-engine displacement, I was most likely select the 718 GTS with a 4-cylinder displacement and add the Öhlin chassis as well. Different religion, different thoughts, nothing right or wrong, but this is my religion. Let's start my religion by looking at the colors. For me it was easy to select the GT Silver because I wanted to pay a tribute to the early 718s, but the early 718s were a bit aluminium lookish, not as glossy as the GT Silver. Therefore Auto Shield in Stockholm helped me out putting these Expel Stealth, and I think the result are astonishing and I'm so satisfied. There is a color that are available that I will never select on a Spyder, and that is the Miami Blue. The reason for that is that the color was introduced during International Racing Championship much later. And therefore I would appreciate and most likely would have selected the Miami Blue option out a GT4. It would be a tough comparison between the Miami Blue and white, but yeah, anyway, Miami Blue does not belong to the Spyder according to my religion. And with the GT Silver I decided to go all silver and black, and therefore it was very easy for me to decide on the satin black Porsche logo in behind. In standard, I believe that is a chromish aluminium look. And if you follow me, then you know that black calipers starts to get a big religion for me. I do appreciate yellow calipers towards yellow cars. I appreciate red calipers towards red cars. And black, yeah, that might be, you know, with yellow calipers and yellow stitching, that would work, etc. But in regular, I end up with black calipers. I want my eyes to look at the design and the shapes of the vehicle, not having a dots of color destroying the look and the beauty of the vehicle. And Spyder is one of the most beautiful vehicles Porsche has ever made, and therefore, ta-da, keep the calipers black. ridiculous expensive and should be a cost-free option. I've started to appreciate silver colors on wheels lately, and I think the 21-inch Spyder wheel looks spectacular, and thank God I got the Michelin tires. It should be an option to tick which brand, a non-cost option that you should tick to select which brand you would like to have upon delivery. I'm going to change now to my HRE wheels to save a couple of kilos. Porsche Dynamic Light System Plus is all about design for me. I live in Sweden and I'm only going to drive this vehicle during summer. Therefore, in Sweden, well, there is basically no darkness. But I think the Dynamic Light System Plus makes the car look wider, and that's why I selected it. I like the standard on the GT4 because that is the low weight option, and I think that is directly connection towards the race car that has those kind of lights. Park distance control, that was a very easy option for me because I drove the 981, and that is very difficult to understand where the car ends with the beautiful bulges behind you. But what I did not know was that the PCM upgrade with the GT4 Spyder, well, they have eliminated, you know, the view where you see the car from the top, and you have the support from the green, yellow and red colors when you approach an obstacle. For some reason, that is gone with the wind, and therefore if I would have known that information, I most likely would have gone for the rear camera. And lucky US, I believe that is a law, and you all will get that in US. Let's have a look at my interior options. Coming back to Sergio's comments, and according to him, he selected the comfort seats because he couldn't do long trips with the P11 bucket seats or any bucket seats. But if that is the case, then you need a more comfortable ride. You have invested in a GT chassis, and if you select comfort seats in this vehicle, you will lose out on several of those performance. You will not get that connection towards the drive, and therefore I genuinely believe that a GTS 4.0 or perhaps a 4-cylinder displacement GTS is a better option for you. These seats, I've been driven 10,000 kilometers and daily drove, and I had no problem with the comfort level. Then I understand that other people will have different prerequisites to find it comfortable or not, but then perhaps you should look into which vehicle you should have in the first place. I know I'm a bit black and white, but please remember my struggle to find the reason for the deviated driving experience when I reviewed the 991.2 GT3 Touring in comparison to my GT3 Club Sport. You will find a link in the upper right corner or in the description to view and understand me better. Black and silver continues when we go to the interior. Black leather with deviated silver stitching. Yes, I wanted that elegant touch and racing feel in the Spyder, and I think a convertible interior looks and like are very important because they are very connected and exposed without the roof. Therefore, the steering column in leather is something that I appreciate a lot, and perhaps even more the interior package, where in standard these areas are painted into the exterior color. I think this is perhaps the most important. It was a gamble for me. I was thinking of having these in GT Silver, but it turned out spectacular. To go all the way with the leather dashboard trim package is something I think you should consider, since the deviated stitching frames the entire leather packaging, follow through with the door stitching, etc. But my recommendation is that you pick that from the Alcantara menu, because then this part here will be in Alcantara, and since you are not able to delete the Alcantara underneath the dashboard, that is actually something I recommended. Also in the Alcantara menu, I picked the sun visor in Alcantara, and with that comes the light package. This option, Alma at Porsche Center Danbury, helped me, since these are very exposed on convertibles, and since this is my first convertible, she helped me up understanding the perks of having those in Alcantara on convertibles. Rounding up the leather with finally a leather steering wheel, something that I really appreciate, and it makes the steering wheel a bit thicker in comparison to Alcantara. On the GT4 I most likely would have kept the Alcantara, but anyway, for my driving license obviously a speed control, and for my channel the illuminated door sill in carbon fiber with the text "The Art of Driving," something that I appreciate a lot. When you select the Porsche Dynamic Light System Plus in Sweden, we don't have the windscreen top tint in grey, and therefore we need to tick that option as well if we would like to have the Porsche Dynamic Light System Plus. For a reason that I cannot explain, I got a fire extinguisher. It's red and I don't want red, I want silver and black. And I did not order this, but I got it anyway. No surprise for anyone that I appreciate the manual gearbox, a must-have for me, and please considering on all Porsche cars, because it really gives that extra connection towards your driving, and it's very easy to drive with a manual gearbox today. You have the auto blip function to help you with the heel toe, and the automatic parking brakes helps you starting an uphill. One option that I really shouldn't have bought is the 2 zones climate control. Yes, on the Cayman on a GT4 it's a must-have, but I cannot control the Swedish weather with the 2 zones climate control since the roof should be folded back. Passenger storage net in the footwell to make sure that the passenger have some convenience to store their things. Floor mats is not standard in Sweden, and Apple CarPlay is not even standard either. And I think with Apple CarPlay, well, then you get an interface that you actually could use. Remember, there is only one mistake you can do when you option out your Porsche, and that is to not follow your purposes. If you option out your Porsche for the second user, then buy a used vehicle. I'm very satisfied the way I've spec'd my Spyder except for the 2 zone climate control. Now it starts to rain. I really cannot control the Swedish weather. I appreciate AutoShield's work that have got that aluminium look-alike on the GT Silver. Thank you so much for watching my channel, and more to come. Ta-da! I'm just trying to get the focus to my face.